Okay, so you start out with your ground beef. You can use whatever ground beef you feel comfortable with cooking. I'm using the market side organic grass-fed ground beef, 93% lean, 7% fat. You can use whichever fat content of the beef that you want to use, but I like using the leaner one because overall, when you get through cooking the ground beef, it's literally going to be a certain amount of grease left in, the skillet. And you want the least amount of grease left in the skillet, you guys. So you want to chop this up a bit, break it up a bit. You can use a fork doing this, or you can use a spatula like what I'm doing. I prefer to use a spatula because it's a lot easier than using a fork. And you want to chop it up into small little pieces while it's cooking. You can put it on medium heat, or you can put it on like semi high, but just not too high. Keep it decent. So I'm seasoning the meat. I'm using Morton's natural sea salt. I also like to use garlic powder to season the meat. It gives extra flavor. You don't have to season the meat if you don't want to, but if you want it to taste definitely extra tasty, you throw on some garlic powder. Use whatever amount you feel comfortable with. Onion powder. Now, if you want to add chili powder, you can. In this case, I will not do so because I'm going to be using some taco seasoning packs that already have the chili seasoning flavor in it. You can just use the chili seasoning if you want to have an even stronger chili powder taste. And you want to mix that in there, you guys. My skillet's moving around way more than usual today because I don't have my other hand free to use on the handle. I'm actually holding my camera right now. But you want to mix that in. Okay. So by the way, you guys, you can get the organic grass-fed ground beef from Walmart, and I actually use 2 packs. I'm only showing you the one, but there's actually 2 packs of it here in the skillet. So they're 1 pound each, so I have about 2 pounds worth of ground beef in there. And I'm doing that because I'm cooking for a large number of people here. Okay, and so I like to use 2 different seasoning packs. You don't have to do this, but this is what I like to do. I like to use Taco Bell's original seasoning mix, and I like to use the Great Value taco seasoning mix. You can use whatever seasoning mix you want to use. This is my preference because I like the way they both taste. And I'm using 2 because I have 2 pounds of ground beef in here because I like to make sure that my tacos in the taco meat is very flavorful. Okay, and so I'm adding this here to the beef, and I will be mixing this in. So it's 1 pack right there. And then I'm going to add the other one. Put that in there like that. Okay. And you guys, make sure you mix the meat up really good. Like I said, I'm doing this with one hand and holding the camera in the other. So I can't mix it up as well as I want to, but when I pause my camera, I most certainly will be doing so to make sure that the seasoning is evenly spread to all of the ground beef that is cooking. Okay, you guys, so it's more evenly mixed in there, but what I'm doing right now is I am using my spatula here to make the meat a little smaller in size by dicing it up because it's easier to do when the meat is diced up like this. You tend to want smaller pieces. You don't want big gigantic chunks when you're trying to make tacos. It's not going to be very convenient. And you're not making sloppy joe, so you don't want the pieces so small that they're like sloppy joes, but you definitely want it to be where it can be more evenly distributed in either the taco shell or the tortilla, whether you're using corn tortilla or flour tortilla. And if you're making nachos, same thing. You don't want them to be too big and chunky, but you also don't want it to be too small and dicey like the floppy joe. So that's why I like to use a spatula so I can help dice up the pieces more while it's being cooked. Okay, sorry about all the noise in the background, you guys, but make sure that you cook this meat well enough that there is no pink meat left. You want to make sure that it is cooked well. Okay. You also want to make sure that nothing is sticking to the skillet, you guys. So before you even, and I should have did this from the start, but with your skillet, make sure you oil your skillet lightly before you put the ground beef in to even cook it, so you can make sure that meat is not sticking to the skillet. However, if you forget to do so, the fat content in the meat will cook into oil, and it will help oil up your pan or your skillet, but you should have already added oil in the first place. But, all right, now if you look in the skillet, notice you don't see a bunch of oil or liquid sitting in there. And that's the reason why I got the leaner ground beef, because this is how you want it. If you get the less lean ground beef, like the 85%, 75%, you're gonna, if you separate, you're gonna see grease and oil all in there, and depending on how much, it might be way up here somewhere. And you will need to drain it off, because if you don't, you will have oily, drippy tacos, and nobody wants that, because not only is it messy, but that's just not healthy, you know, even if you think it tastes good. Okay, you guys, so the ground beef is cooked, it's already seasoned. So the next stage here is what I call the production. Okay, so typically you will need romaine lettuce, you will need an avocado, cheese, taco shells if that's what you want to use. I also have flour tortillas, okay, but I also have corn tortillas, but we ran out and I forgot to get more. And I also have a bag of Doritos, okay, because I like Doritos. Sour cream, all this stuff came from Walmart, all of it, okay. Your onion, you can choose whatever onion you want. I like to use sweet yellow onion, and I got my skillet heat up here because I'm going to heat up the tortillas in the skillet. While I'm letting that heat up, I'm going to turn my attention to, I have tomatoes here that I'm going to dice up, and then I'm going to dice up the onions, you guys. Hopefully you guys know how to dice up vegetables. If you don't know how to do that, look up a video that shows you how to do it. In my case, I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time, and I'm going to have to get a new camera stand. The one I have broke. The romaine lettuce, I'm going to dice that up as well. Okay, you can use whatever lettuce you want. People typically like to use iceberg lettuce. I like to use organic romaine hearts. Okay, you guys, so I'm flipping this tortilla over. It's been sitting there like that for like a whole minute. And this way, now something else you can do, you can put tortillas in the oven for a little bit, and you got to make sure you watch them. Okay, so this is the diced onions, lettuce, and tomatoes. If you need more, you can definitely do more. And I'm going to go ahead and prepare some nachos and a hard taco and a soft taco, for example, so you guys can see how this is done. I know it seems typical, but you know what, you guys, you'd be surprised who does not know how to make tacos and nachos. Guys, I'm also going to do some avocado shavings as well, you know, because I like to have avocado on my nachos. Some people like it in their tacos and things like that. You know, it's up to you what you want to really make of your nachos and your tacos. So I got my hard shell taco And I got the meat here, and you just see how you just shake that in there like that. Ta-da! Okay, so you got the meat, and that sits up really well. So you can put cheese if you want. I'm gonna put some cheese. Okay, I'm gonna put some tomatoes because I like tomatoes in there. Okay, and I'm gonna put a little bit of onions. And you can put as much of this you want, as you want in there. Make sure you actually evenly spread it out. Lettuce, okay? And I'm gonna put just a little bit of, I need to buy one of those taco stand things that my friend bought. Get some whipped cream and dollop a little bit. Well, that's a whole lot, but I like a whole lot of, why did I call it whipped cream, you guys? It's not whipped cream, sour cream. Please do not use whipped cream in this unless you want it to be gross, okay? I'm spreading mine out. It may not look very chef-like, but I don't care because I'm going to eat this. It's all going down the hatchet one way or another, okay? Okay, maybe just a little more lettuce. Okay, and a little more cheese, just a little. All right. Now, this is the equivalent of making a taco supreme, I guess, at Taco Bell. You guys, you make it however you want to make it. That's how I'm making mine. I'm going to set that over there. It's going to be delicious. As for making the nachos and making the soft taco, obviously you have the soft the soft tortilla that was already heated up, okay? Using a skillet, or you can use the oven to do it for a minute or two. You add the desired amount of meat, okay, as much as you actually want to have on there. And keep in mind, this is going to be a little messy. It's going to be a little sloppy, all right? And you can just add, like I said, tomatoes, whatever you want to put on there, okay? Lettuce, and you can add cheese. You can sprinkle cheese. You can put, the sour cream, but whatever it is you want to put in there. And I have avocado shavings also, if that's what you want to add. If you want to make guacamole, you just mash up and blend avocado really well, and you can add like lime juice and some olive oil, and there you go. Now you wrap that up and bam, you have your soft taco. Okay, so I'm going to put that over here out of the way. Yum, yum. Now, I got Doritos. You can use whatever kind of corn chips you want to use. I get some of the meat here, and typically kind of sprinkle that sprinkle that up there. It's gonna look messy. It's going to look messy. You can't really care about that. There is nothing neat about this kind of food. It's nothing neat about it, but you get enough on there, okay? Now I'm going to sprinkle my cheese, okay? I'm gonna sprinkle my cheese. All right. I'm gonna get my onions here. Get some onions up there on top. Okay. And if you're cooking for others, make sure your hands are clean, you guys. I've washed my hands like a million times off camera. You have no clue. Germphobe here. All right. Especially during this particular time. Okay. You get the lettuce. All right. I want tomatoes. More tomatoes. And I like to put a lot. I like to put a lot of toppings, okay? And I'm gonna do a little bit of avocado shavings there up top, okay? And I like a lot of sour cream on top of my nachos. A lot. So put some dollops of that on there, all around the whole thing. It's looking good, isn't it? May not look perfect, but it's looking good. And for me, just a little more cheese. Okay? Alright. And when I tell you this is good, it's good because I make this regularly. Okay. Soft taco, the hard taco, yum yum. Never mind all that. It's gonna be messy sometimes, you guys, okay? And then you have the nachos. And I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better.